What's up guys? Today we're going to do a video on a build I'm going to do. All of this stuff, and you're going to be amazed on what I've got, came up to approximately $690. So I'm going to show you how to build a computer system for less than $700, and this is going to be an epic system. I'm just going to start with the items that we have first. We've got our 24-inch 1 millisecond gaming monitor. We have the monitor stand. And we've got the GTX 1080. I've got all the parts here. I'm not going to go into all of them yet. We're going to unbox some of the stuff and I'll show you what I have. I got this thing for $40. It didn't have a back to it, but I already had the arm stand. And you can't really see it, but they thought there was a little scratch or a smudge like right here. And it's not even noticeable. 860, 500 gigabit. I got this for free. And I'll explain that in a little bit later in the video. I also have, this didn't cost me anything either, this was a Western Digital black drive, Vengeance RAM, it's DDR3. I wanted to go DDR4 but the cost was way too high. It would have probably cost me $300 more between the motherboard, processor, and the RAM because it's so new. But this is 1600 megahertz, so I don't think we're going to have any issues with this. We'll do a run test at the end of this system to show the build. Our MSI Z97 Gaming 5 with an i5 processor inside of it. This thing is beautiful. It's going to run just about every game we can think of if it works. That's the big trick, is whenever you buy used, you got to be careful because you never know. The guy that I bought it from seemed pretty legitimate, so I think we're okay. Between the RAM, the processor, and the motherboard, I got all that for $150. GTX 1080 Founders Edition. This item I got for $350. Really steal of a deal, especially when the costs of these are really high right now. I've been waiting about 3 days to build this since I ordered the parts. I got all this from Amazon. And the first thing I got was some RGB lighting so that we can light up the system. This is going to be a full red system. So you can't go wrong. If we're going to go red, we're going to have the flash. Input output, it's basically the liquid cooler for the CPU. This thing's pretty sweet. This is the Captain 240EX. We have a mat for the mouse and keyboard. So this is basically going to lay flat. It's a really soft, comfortable. I have a blue one myself, but since we're going with the red theme with this one, we're going to have the red RGB, we're going to have the red cooler, radiator cooling system, we're going to have the flash, the red stuff here, we're going to make the keyboard red, and then in a little bit later I'm going to take the GTX 1080 and where it's normally green, so if you notice this is green here, we're going to turn that red. If not, if I can't get that red completely without making it look bad, I'm probably going to take this whole black section and then vinyl wrap that in red. And then I'll probably take it as well, like I did with another system, is I'll take this piece and I'll probably do like red accents on here so that this actually shows up red in our build system. It's going to look awesome. I hope you guys like it. So that's about it so far, guys. I'm going to start building this. I'm going to fast forward most of this stuff so you don't have to watch all the boring stuff. And then we're going to show you some of the benchmarks. So what I went with was the what is this? The Fantex P something. I'll put the link below. I think it's like a 300 or something like that. PH300. It's basically similar to the other one, but it's got more red inside, which is pretty cool. I think this is a little bit better. It's a heavier case. Mark, why the heck are you doing all these videos? And I say all these. This is like the first or second one I've uploaded. As far as building cases, is because ever since Gary Vaynerchuk had done the 2017 Flip Challenge, I started selling stuff online. And then I kind of naturally defaulted to computers because I've always built computer systems. So what I've done is I've kind of built, not really a business, but kind of like a side hustle where I buy used computers, tons of them used. Like I got this for $350, the GTX 1080. I got this i5 with the Z97 gaming board with the memory for $150, 16 gigs of RAM. It's just a really nice build. The guy didn't need to upgrade, but he did. Similar to what I've done is I've upgraded myself to better ones, and you don't have to. So they sell these things cheap and they don't sell quickly. So most people are impatient and they don't want to wait. So they'll sell them pretty cheap and I'll take them and I'll make builds out of them And then I'll make $100, $200. But there's a lot of cool stuff that I get out of it. I'll show you some of the gear that I have in another video. So I wanted to kind of do just a building channel, because I'm doing this all the time. It's kind of fun. I like to do video editing. I'm subscribed to some different platforms as far as like editing software, and so it's kind of just like a little mini passion. I don't know what'll become of it. I'm not, you know, a genius with computer stuff. I don't know. I don't have all of the numbers down and everything. I just know what parts are good with which systems. And then I might be wrong every once in a while. So that's going to happen. Anyways, that's it. This might be a boring channel. This might be awesome. But I kind of want to do a talk and build with you guys. So if you guys have questions, I might not necessarily know the answer, but at least I can research it for you and kind of build my knowledge with it. And just let you know what I think. You know, that's kind of just a benefit. I'm just making sure this motherboard fits in here really well. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it. I can't wait. The biggest thing is, when we're talking and doing all this stuff, is what kind of topics do we want to talk about? Because I can talk. One of my daughters is famous for that as well, and she doesn't know her dad talks just as much, just on camera. So I think I'm going to dig into that and kind of just do some stuff. I don't know. If you guys think this is cool, let me know. If you think it's horrible, let me know. You'll see me mess up sometimes. That'll be fun. There's parts all over this office. This is the vinyl that I wrapped the GPU with, which we might do more of. The one mistake that I've already made is this is a RGB light system, and I should have just bought red. I would have saved myself $5 if I would have went that route. But I've kind of been labeled as the seller of the family or friend. I've actually got stuff to sell more than I actually have my own personal stuff. So I've got family members that want different gaming stuff, so they'll come to me and say, hey, I want you to do this. Try to find me that. And I don't charge anything, it's just fun. And then I have other family members that are really people, like I'm selling some cars for some friends and stuff like that. So it's kind of just become a thing for me. Complaint for this case, by the way, this right here is the rear fan, and there's a cord that goes back into the case, and I can't get the motherboard in because the cord is too tight across where the motherboard goes. So we should be good now. So let's go ahead and put this in here. One real simple thing that's really cool is this water cooling system. You've got these bars that I'm going to screw them onto. Super easy to install if you ever want to do a water cooling system. I'll show you that. I think, shoot, when was Windows 3.1 is when I started really learning computer systems. I ruined a lot of them. My dad was a CPA, still kind of is, and he had a really nice computer setup, nice in the business world anyways, and Windows was floppy disk. There was 11 of them, and I kid you not, I destroyed that Windows system probably 9 times. When you mess up the files in there, I just clicked into folders and started looking at files, deleting things I didn't like, researching things on how to tweak things and whatnot. At the end of the day, I ended up ruining Windows, and so it would completely crash. Luckily, our friend of the family was a computer genius, also a doctor, and it was a hobby of his, so he would help us fix it, and he kind of taught me how to fix it all, Windows, and reinstall Windows when there were problems. And you know, the first thing you try to do is fix the initial problem, and then obviously if it doesn't work, just start over. I'm a little bit lazy when that comes to that setup. I would rather just have all my stuff backed up on files, and if there's a virus or something changes or something happens, I would rather just erase it. I'm more of a erase and walk away type guy. So you're gonna learn that. Sometimes I'll spend a couple extra dollars because I'm too lazy to do something. Oh, that's awesome. I want to see how this does. This got really good reviews. This is the Gamer Storm TF120. Put a link down there. this, not just the fan, but this is a whole radiator liquid cooled system for the setup, and you can buy them in red and blue and different colors, but these fans go on to this as well. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Alright, so we got it put together. I didn't record any of that, but whatever. We'll put the black drive in last. Cable management was really simple. We've got the SSD plugged in. We haven't turned it on yet, so hopefully it doesn't light on fire. And nothing. Go ahead and flip it on here first. And nothing. Oh, there we go. Oh, sweet. It does light up. Alright, liquid cool hasn't exploded. This is lighting up in here. And it booted right up. Test one, we're done. Next step is I'm going to eat dinner, and then I'm going to put the RGB lights in. I'll kind of show you the kit that we got here. So standard remote, the power adapter, and then these strips. So we're going to probably put them in the top, and then I'll probably put them on the side because I don't want them to be visible. I hate seeing the LED, actual LED. So I just want it to kind of glow. It doesn't have to be super bright. So we got everything installed. We moved the system over to the main desk, so we're going to take photos. I kind of staged everything. So when I take a photo, we'll have kind of like a little bit of a background lighting. We haven't tested the LED, so we're going to see how that looks. But of course, first we've got to do the infamous. So at the end of the day, here's what we ended up with. We got our system here that we can look at, and pretty happy with it. So what we're going to do is, we've got the computer already built. We've got all the parts into it. I've already went over that. I'm just going to test a lot of the stuff. I'm just record it from this camera here and then show you guys what kind of results I've gotten. The first program I'm going to run, I'm going to show you some tests with some games. We're going to do Overwatch. I might run Fortnite, assume I don't have like a 10-hour update. I want to show you first off, this is the temperature that's running at idle. It was used today earlier for about 3 hours. So after that, and this room's really hot for some reason because I have other computers in here, but the CPU is 34 degrees Celsius, almost no load. It is running at 4 gigahertz. We've got it overclocked. And then we've got the GPU, the GTX 1080. That's running at 40 degrees Celsius, and then there's no load currently. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up core temp, and that's going to allow us to see over here what kind of temperatures we're getting, and we'll get a little bit more detail to kind of zoom in here so you can see. Okay, so that's our core temp. That's basically our min max. Each core, it's 4-core system, and what's the temperature at. So what we'll do is we'll minimize this here, and let's go ahead and load the Heaven benchmark. So here's our benchmark. We're going to have everything to English. It's going to be custom, and we're going to do DirectX 11. We're going to do high settings because we have a 1080. It can definitely handle that. We don't need stereo 3D because that's the audio. Multi-monitor, we'll just have one monitor. It's a 144 hertz monitor. The multi-monitor's off, anti-aliasing is off, and then we're going to do 1920 by 1080 because that's basically what this monitor is currently set to here. It's 1920 by 1080, and that's the recommended. That's the max. This is the Omen 144 hertz monitor. So we'll go ahead and run that.